Today, I'm very happy to be interviewing a young gentleman. Had a long journey, very inspiring to every young man who is trying to do something out of his life. We're going to tap into Ali Ghzawi, the human being, the beautiful human being with a beautiful soul, his journey. How can we learn from his journey? What are the obstacles that he went through? And what is the message that he wants to share with everybody listening to us today? Ali, welcome to this podcast today.
Hi Abir, how are you today?
I'm fine.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming for the second time.
Yeah, after
I'm
a
so
very hard
happy
one.
we are making it. I think we have a lot to share.
Yep,
And I want you to be very transparent. I know you are.
always.
And start, I know all your story, but I want you to start from the beginning, how it all started.
Awesome. So that would take me like 13 years back in time, where I was only 17 years old. I was at high school, and I was just a random student. Didn't know what I want to become. I was a bit not lazy, but I didn't like studying. My friends, they used to like my sandwich that I had with me on my school, and they used to eat it every day in day out. They used to eat my sandwiches, and then after eating my sandwiches, they would go on to the cafeteria and buy more sandwiches. But the only difference, they would pay them money instead of taking it for free. So I was like, you know what? I need to do something about it. So I decided to make the sandwiches and start selling it to my friends instead of them eating it for free. Next day to school, I took with me 10 sandwiches. I took some fresh bread, nice bread, fresh, very basic sandwiches, yeah, like salami, roast beef, turkey, and so on. I went to school, and then my good friends, my best friends, they came and they were hungry. Like, hey Ali, what sandwiches do you have today? I'm like, hey, I'm not giving you any sandwiches today. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, if you want sandwiches, you need to buy it from me. I'm like, what? We are your best friends. You wanna sell a sandwich? I was like, of course. So they bought the 10 sandwiches. And from there it started. Second day, 20 sandwiches. Third day, 30. Then by the end of the year, I was doing 120, 150 sandwich a day. And that kind of like opened my eyes and sight to something that could be a very beautiful journey. I decided to become a chef. I went to a cooking school called Dirash, and from there my journey started. People ask me like, do you have passion for cooking back then? I'm like, no, because I wasn't really cooking, but I really enjoyed the process of making people happy through food. I mean, the joy, sharing my food at the beginning, and then coming up with a business plan and making money out of it, and so on. And then I discovered that passion, and then I took it seriously, and then I discovered that I'm really good at it. And yeah, from there
Okay.
it started.
So you left school at which age?
So I finished high school when I was only 17 years old because أنا مكبر سنة.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kind of gained one academic year ahead
Okay.
of my classmate.
And you started the studying at the chef school.
Yes.
At that time, did you ever think that you will have a restaurant?
Never.
Never.
At that time, also, I have never imagined being a chef. I mean, there are some mainstreams career that we have around us, right? Like some people want to become a doctor, they want to go to a medicine school, they want to go to engineering, they want to become like to a law school, you name it. But I don't know, like I have never felt that this is something that could interest me. First of all, like I get bored very fast, and putting me in a class inside the university for 6 and 7 years, that's not for me. Even though I was an A student, right? Like I could have done whatever I wanted, I could have studied whatever I wanted, but yeah, that wasn't for me. So I never imagined having a restaurant, I never imagined being a chef. And even throughout the process, I was questioning my decision. I was honestly questioning my decision. Like 3 years into the industry, I was like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Like, seriously, is this is what you signed up for? Yeah, because you're still not sure, and uncertainty is a big it's a big thing in our life because so many things that we're uncertain about. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, how did you go and decide, or how did it happen that you went on the MBC show?
Okay, so after I graduated from my university, I went to work abroad. I've been to Spain, I've been to Germany. Then I have to worked in Michelin star restaurants and five-star hotels around the world. Then came back to Jordan. I had a couple of pre-openings in different hotels in Saudi and Bahrain and so on. From there, I was working as a sous chef at one of the restaurants at one of the hotels here in Amman, and I decided to make something, and it was very spontaneous. I was like, you know what? I want to make my social media profile public, and I want to post the dishes that I used to cook in the hotel. There was no like reason or nothing, just me sharing my food. Like there were no strive for me to become famous or share nothing. Just and who did I have on my social media platforms? My friends, my family, and my colleagues. That's it, right? Like I wasn't posting video. No, just plain photos of the food and that's it. And after that, I received a DM on my Instagram profile asking me if I'm interested to participate in Top Chef season 3 on MBC. I didn't believe it at the beginning. I was like, seriously, what is this Top Chef? I have never heard of it. I thought it could be like a scam. Why me? Why through Instagram? Why now? And yeah, that's what happened. That was the first thing that happened with MBC Top Chef.
Okay. Tell us about your journey with the competition,
Yeah.
with the people that you are having a challenge with them.
Yeah.
How was it?
The journey in Top Chef was very, very challenging because some people think that I went to participate in Top Chef because I love competing with others. No. I don't like competing with others. I want to compliment others. And I always wanted to challenge myself. I always wanted to compete with myself because I was this young chef. I was only 23 years old. I've worked in kitchens in Spain, Germany, a couple of countries, pre-opening hotels. I was having great success as a corporate structure. And I was like, okay, that's great, but what's happening in the outside world? Like, what could happen if I put my skills and knowledge on a different scale, on a regional scale? Where would I stand? I really wanted to know because I am always somebody who like, I'm very hard on myself. Like I judge my skills, I judge my knowledge. I always judge it because I want to see where do I stand in this life. This is something the pressure I put it on myself. And when I went to the competition, I didn't have the goal of winning the competition. I had the goal of me knowing where do I stand. Do I have the right qualifications, the right cooking skills, the right discipline, the right determination and resilience to make it happen or not? Because the competition is not about cooking, trust me. Cooking is a big part of it, don't get me wrong. But anything can break with pressure, right?
Yes.
Even if you're a superstar, if you can't handle pressure, if you don't have time management, if you don't have strategic decision making, you will not make it in Top Chef. I always say, whoever won or is going to win Top Chef, he needs to be the smartest chef, not the best chef, because in that set of environment, everything is against you. Time, resources, conditions, everything is against you because they are challenging you in every aspect of that setting. Like they would ask you to do something out of, I don't know, you have never done it before. You have never heard of it. So your decisions need to be very smart. It needs to be very precise, and it needs to be very planned really well.
Okay. So, in other words, what you say is it's about hard work,
Definitely.
persistence, and consistency. That's what took you to the end, because if you didn't have those skills, you couldn't have won it.
It's all about determination, resilience, and hard working, and learning as you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
After how long from leaving the challenge and winning it, you thought you want to open your own restaurant?
Honestly, I have never planned, even after winning Top Chef, I haven't planned to open my own restaurant. It just happened like that.
It happened like this.
I always believe in how the universe is running. Like again, and it takes me like so many things happened in my life that I'm doing right now that I haven't planned for, but technically speaking, I was being trained for. I was getting prepared for. So I finished Top Chef in 2019 in February, and then when I opened my restaurant, not opened, but when I took the place to open the restaurant, it was October 2019. So it took me 9 months until this opportunity came across me, and then I said, okay, I can take it, I can make it happen. But then after signing the contracts of the place in October, and taking 3-4 months for me to develop the concept and to the drawings and everything, boom, COVID came, and all of my investments as like froze. Like I have nothing left, because COVID came. I can't do anything. Supply chain completely stopped. I had a couple of assistants that I was paying basically, and everything changed. So yeah, it took me like a good 9 months until I decided, or I want to make a restaurant.
Okay. I want to ask you, winning MBC Top Chef, was it a help, a push for you, or was it a pressure, even more pressure?
It's both. I always say like winning Top Chef was a big responsibility. It's not just like an award. I mean, having that award at a very young age, at 24, is hard, and it did affect me so bad, honestly. I mean, when you get exposure at a very young age, because I always thought about like, okay, as a chef, if you want to compete, Top Chef is like on the top of the hill, right? Like, what's after Top Chef? Nothing, and that kind of leaves you with, I don't know how do you call it, like, that's it. That's all what I'm gonna be doing in my life, like just participating in Top Chef and that's it. Because normally like there are steps in your career and so on. But in that sense, on a media level of competing as a chef, that could have been the top. And that left a big like void in me, honestly, and it did affect me very hard. And eventually, I faced something called adjustment disorder, where I could not cope. I couldn't cope with what's happening in my life, because every 6 months, every 8 months, I'm having a new development, a new promotion, a new exposure, something new in my life, and I wasn't given the chance or the opportunity to cope up with what's happening, because I didn't have the gap. Like I wasn't able to process what's happening in my life. Like for example, when I used to work in hotels, 7 months promotion, then transfer to another country, then working in another hotel
Too
with
quick.
too quick, and that left me with adjustment disorder, like where I can't cope up with what's happening, and that also took me to whatever I was doing back then. I honestly didn't feel the happiness or the joy of the moment. I don't know why, because it made me go to like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Now, yeah, that's fine. It felt like a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you able to keep yourself in that? I mean, listening to you now, I can feel the the anxiousness
Yeah.
of the pressure
Yeah.
of being in the light, of being famous, of
Yeah.
being able to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Were you able to keep yourself grounded? Did you use anything for you to say, okay, Ali, hold on, I need to take care of myself?
This is something that I honestly failed big time in doing. I have always neglected myself. I have always ignored my needs as a human being, as a person who needs to take care of his health, his mental health, his state of mind, his peace, and his surroundings. My life has been, since then, my life has been, actually, since I remember, my life has always been driven by accomplishment and achievements in my career as a chef. And like, yeah, it was very hard for me to look at myself like, hey man, listen, now you deserve some break. Take it easy. You're still young. Your whole life is ahead of you. It's okay. Slow down. You're not in a race. It's okay. But yeah, back then I would never have understood that. But with time, you start understanding it شوي صغيرة. Am I fully doing this right now? Yes and no. Maybe I'm not that bothered if I'm not doing something at this moment, but I know that that urge is still inside, and it's like a fire that nobody can basically put off.
Okay, I want to ask you, at a young age,
Yeah.
how were you able to fund your business? The business idea came, you
Yeah.
wanted to open a restaurant, you are very young.
Yeah.
We're trying to send messages to
Yeah.
people who are trying to be an entrepreneurs
Yeah.
like yourself.
Yeah.
How were you able to fund your business?
Yeah. So after I finished Top Chef, so I won a prize which was $100,000. That was a starting point for me to establish my business. And honestly, 2019 was a very successful year for me because I was everywhere. I was doing everything, right? From business collaboration to pop-ups to consulting in restaurants to doing work in Saudi, in Kuwait, in Dubai, in Egypt, everything. A lot of collaboration, a lot of brand marketing, a lot of consulting in restaurants, opening it from A to Z, from menu engineering, staff training, supply chain, and so on. And I kind of managed to gather a big chunk of money.
Okay,
Yeah.
amazing.
And managed to open the place eventually. But even the funding for the restaurant it wasn't all like boom, one shot, because like restaurants are like money sucking machine. That's it, right? Like it takes money from you day in, day out. If you put like an initial investment for the restaurant, like boom, you need another 30%, you need another 40%. But with time, you can make it happen. Honestly, I haven't taken any loans from the bank. I haven't taken any loans from anybody. And yeah, this is how I funded my place. And it was very hard for me because I everything I had and everything I gathered throughout my career, and especially the last period of time after finishing Top Chef, it was like boom, I'm going all in. I'm gambling. I don't care. If I fail, I'm gonna get up again and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna make it again.
I love that.
This is always me, right?
Okay.
Go all in or nothing. That's me.
That's fantastic. Were you able to scale up your business?
So it was very challenging times. Scaling my business, it has been a great journey for us in the business. Now, currently, I have 2 restaurants. One of them is Ali,
Okay.
which is a fine dining Jordanian Middle Eastern cuisine. The other one is Pounder by Ali, a burger place, burger joint with snacks, sandwiches, limeades, juices, and so on. The thing is, so again, so when I started opening my business, it was COVID and post-COVID. While everyone was closing, I was actually opening my concepts, and my concepts weren't something mainstream. It was actually something new to the market. It's not something like, okay, it's comfort food. No, it's not. I'm challenging the market. I'm challenging myself. I'm trying to spread awareness, education, and level up what's the dining scene in Jordan. Scaling it up. I think it's still too soon for you to say scaling it up, because I know the duration that would take business for it to be self-sustained, to be scaled up, and to have that growth where it expands. Because we're still babies in the market. Like Elite has been there for 2 years and 9 months, and Pounder has been there for 3 years now. So we're still babies in that sense. And normally they say like, not say that, it's studies like you need to be in the market for 5 years minimum until you start getting other things in the market.
Okay. So can I understand that what you did with your restaurant, Ali, was a niche? It wasn't a tweak to competitors? Is that what you're telling me?
We do not have any competitor in Jordan.
Amazing.
We don't. And it's not, I'm not saying this out of like, yeah, we don't have any competitors.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Because we're actually doing something different. It's all about it's all about taking the culture and the heritage of Jordan and the Middle East and reimagining it through Jordanian eyes. Because I always see like there's a big challenge to Jordanian identity, especially in cuisine. Why? Because Levantine food and Middle Eastern food, it's a bit similar, 90% similar, but every country have their own differences in the same time. So now you have, for example, is falafel Jordanian? Is hummus Jordanian? Is shawarma Jordanian? Some people say no. I always say yes, I don't want to argue about the roots or the originality because it's all geopolitical and it all depends on the ruler in different areas. Like it's completely geopolitical. But honestly, I never accept or allow anybody to say that in front of me that falafel is not Jordanian, hummus is not Jordanian, and shawarma is not Jordanian, or magloube is not Jordanian. Like Jordan is not Mansaf, Jordan is not Jamid. Jordan is a very rich country, very diverse, and it had and it still has its. Jordan is a melting pot, basically, to many cultures, to many people. If you look into the history in the past 100 years, it has been a melting pot, and before that, it has been as well a melting pot to many nationalities and many people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can you share with me your biggest setback and how you overcame it?
My setback, the biggest I can remember was basically, so Top Chef was between two periods. The first time I had to go from June till mid-August, and that was back in 2018. And then the second period was between January 2019 until January 10th. So the setback was in August 2018. So I finished, yeah. So the setback was in August 2018. I finished the semi-final, and then I got back to Amman. And so back then I took a vacation from work. It was unpaid vacation. And then I took 1 week off from work. Then I went back to my job. I used to work in a hotel here in Amman. And do you know when... So I've been away for 2 months and a half. But do you know when you go back to a place and then you go like, you know what? I don't belong in here. That was a very strong voice inside me that basically is directing me. Like, Ali, you don't belong here. It was a Tuesday. I felt I don't belong. It was a Wednesday. I felt I don't belong. And then Thursday came, and now it's time for me not to belong. It was a Thursday evening. I was doing some duty manager in the hotel, and I got into a fight. Before the fight, I was on the phone with my mom and was like, hey, Mom, listen, I'm fed up. I can't stay here. I think everything is wrong. I want to focus on the finale of Top Chef, and خلاص, I want to resign. I don't want to stay. I don't belong. She was like, okay, Mom, just calm down. It's okay. Finish your duty now. Finish your duty right now. Finish your shift early and just come back home. No need for any problems. I'm like, yeah, because if I stay another 1 hour, I know I'm going to get into a trouble. I believe in energy. I always attract things. I always attract it. I hung up the phone with her, and 1 hour later, I'm in a fight. And then 3 hours later, I ended up arrested in jail. And yeah, that was a setback for me. So I was on my duty. Two guests basically, they stole a bottle of drink from another table, and I stepped in, like, hey guys, listen, no need for all of this. Don't worry, we'll take care about this. Just stay calm, because they were cursing and yelling, and it was a Thursday night, and we were fully booked. So I was doing my duty as a manager, right? Like, containing the situation, but
Went out of control.
suddenly they were under influence of alcohol, drugs, you name it, and they came and tried to attack me. They had a bottle in their hand. They almost they broke it, and they wanted to hit me in my face. I blocked it, defended myself. The other brother came to me and he tried to attack me. I blocked it. I defended myself. I'm in that moment, right? And I've been feeling all of these emotions and frustrations and all of these, I don't know. And then like a big fight happened, big fight broke, and I found myself in jail that night. I spent a good 14 hours. First time, never been. Don't want to go back.
Sad and funny, okay.
Yeah. And then I received a call from the hotel the next day, and they were like, Ali, you're suspended for 3 days. بدنا نعمل تحقيقات. We want to do some investigations and so on. I'm like, yeah, sure. After 3 days, من التحقيقات, I was called in, and then I find out that they want to terminate me. I'm like, what? That was a big
I think they
setback for me.
regret it now a lot.
That was a big setback for me. Why? Because I'm a workaholic, basically. I lived for work. Like, if others would put 9 hours, I would be putting 14 hours. If they're going to be doing one task, I do 10 tasks. That's how this is how I'm built. Simple as that. So it hit me really hard. And I felt that I was left alone because, again, okay, now I don't have a place to train for the finale. It was injustice for me. It was really unjust for me. I have a bank loan that I can't pay because I took it a couple of years back, and I don't have money to pay it again. And I don't accept to take money from anybody, not from my family, parents, brothers, you name it. I don't accept that. So it was very hard period of me for me. It was a very hard period time for me.
Okay. Now I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
As an owner of a restaurant,
Yeah.
everybody, I think, dream to be an owner of a restaurant. But what's the reality behind the scenes?
You don't want to own a restaurant, trust me.
I mean, young boys your age, somebody starting, entrepreneurs would like to have it. So
Yeah.
what's the reality behind the scene?
The reality is very challenging. The reality is, it's not always greener on the other side. It's never like that. Owning a restaurant is a big responsibility. First of all, like today in my restaurant, Ali, I have 25 team members. Do you think there are only numbers? No. They are families, they are brothers, they are sisters, they are mothers, they're families. And that pushes me to work harder every day for me to provide for them the best work environment, to push my restaurant even more and more, to provide for them, because I think the restaurant today, Ali, it's not a restaurant that employs 25 team members. It employs 25 team members and their family, because their income is a source of support to their families and loved ones. It's very challenging. And this is where sometimes my career gets really tough, because I'm stuck between my passion as a chef and my responsibility as well as a business owner, because my passion as a chef would also wants me to buy the best plates, buy caviar and foie gras and truffle and so on. But then my other part, which is Ali, the business owner, the restaurant owner, would tell me like, hey, okay, you got truffles. For how long? How long are you gonna keep buying it? How are you going to sell it in the market? Like, can we afford it? So there's a very big clash in that sense. So Ali, the chef, is pushing the owner, and Ali, the owner, is kind of taming the passion of Ali, the chef. It's very challenging, very challenging.
Extremely. And how do you have a team of people who works for you? How do you keep them motivated, and how do you keep the culture? How do you keep this strong relationship between you as the boss and them as they have to do things? And sometimes people do mistakes. We are human.
Yeah. I don't see I don't treat them like I'm the boss. I mean, I'm the boss of myself, that's it. I don't like somebody to call me the boss or chef. Like, I'm always like fine with people calling me Ali. I don't trust titles, or I don't believe in titles. How I keep them motivated, it's very hard, especially when it doesn't only rely on me motivating them. Life is very hard. Like, I've lived it, I've seen it, and these young men and young girls, like, they face a lot of challenges in their life, and I can motivate them as much as I can, like talk to them about their dreams, inspire them, push them, encourage them, telling them great things and setting a great example for them. But I honestly feel it, sometimes not everyone is motivated, and not everyone can be motivated. Why? Because they are going through a lot. How can they be motivated if they're living like 40 kilometers away from the restaurant, and they have to take like 3 or 4 transportation to get to the place. It's very hard. I wish it was fully depending on me to motivate others, but there are other factors. But honestly, at Ali, like, or Pounder, like, I do my best to motivate the team, inspire them, set an example for them in leading, and because I always push myself. Like, I can't tell them to do something and I don't do it. I can't. Like, I don't know a day off. I don't know, like, actually, just 2 weeks ago was the first time I took a vacation in the last 7 years. Never took a vacation. So this is what I do. It's not something easy, but it's important because ايد لحالها ما بتزقف. It's always a teamwork. It's always a team effort, and they inspire me as well. Like, trust me. Like, sometimes when I go to the kitchen and working with trainees and like line commies and so on, like, they remind me when I was a demi chef de partie or when I was running a shift fully, and it brings joy to my heart because I need it as well. I need to work with these people. Not only they need to work with a supervisor or a manager like me, because they feed me. They honestly feed me, and it's nice.
Okay, so lots of new generation who are graduating, they discuss risk-taking. And some people say yes in life, you have to take a risk, and others say no. What are you? What do you say?
I'm always a risk taker. Always. Like, okay, many things happened in my life that I was like, you know what, go all in. So when I decided to go to Top Chef, I left my employment basically. I was like, you know what, it's either I go or I resign. I don't care. Even though I had a very good salary, I had a very good status in the hotel, you name it. So I went all in. When I wanted to open my restaurant, I went all in. Listen, if you wanna live life fully, and when I say fully, it's not about what you have. It's about what you experienced and what you felt and what you lived. I mean, life is not about what do you own. It's about what do you feel and what do you have, in sense of stories, life lessons, values, and ethics. So always go in, always go all in, always do that. I mean, you can be a small fish, right? But what about being a shark?
I love that. Okay, so I want you to share with me your biggest mistake that you regret, and what did you learn from it?
Oh, wow. My biggest mistake. I have done a lot of mistakes in my life. A lot of mistakes. And I think the biggest mistake was not toward somebody, but toward Ali himself. Because I'm always cautious not to harm others. I'm always cautious not to... Like, I always calculate my words before I just say it. I'm always that kind of person. But yeah, I would say my biggest mistake is neglecting my thoughts about Ali and emotions toward Ali.
Loving
and so
Ali?
on. I don't want to say that I don't love my... بالعكس, I really love myself and I appreciate myself, but
Taking care of Ali?
I haven't taken care of myself. I haven't taken care of my stability and my needs and so on. It's great doing things for others as well, but sometimes you leave yourself vulnerable. And I think I have left myself vulnerable for many times and for a very long time.
Ali, now your story is very interesting, and there's lots of in, out, up, down, trying this venture, going to jail. What was the opinion and the role of your parents taking risks, losing, gaining, challenged? How did your parents act? What was their role?
So I'm the person who brings challenges also not to myself but also to the people who loves me, right? It wasn't easy for my family as well because my dad comes from a background of a government employee. He works in that structure. He believes in employment and so on. So when I stopped working in a hotel and I was like, you know what, I'm outside of the system. I don't want to be part of it. I want to do my own thing and take risk and invest and so on. He was shocked. And even like so before I opened the restaurant, when I was doing things on social media and campaigns and consulting and so on, and so I own my time, right? So he goes like, no, like, what are you doing in the house? Like, I'm like, what do you mean I'm working? Like, what do you mean I'm working? So yeah, he didn't really understood that. But I get where he's coming from. He was worried, right? Because he's used to this
System.
9 to 5 job and so on, and this is not something for me, and that's why I left employment when I was only 23 years old. My mom was very encouraging as well, but yeah, their worry was because they don't want me to fail. They want me to have this stable life, but nobody knows the life that you want to have except you. You need to build it. I'm very honestly privileged today that I dictate my own time. I dictate how I spend it, how I invest it. And don't get me wrong, I don't sit back on a couch doing nothing, right? But I just dictate it on my own self. I want to do this, this, and that, because I'm disciplined. If you want to have this luxury in your life, you need to be disciplined.
Amazing.
Without discipline, you will not make it.
I love your messages. I want to ask you something. Were they able to transfer their worries? So now you're at home. They are worried, Ali, his future, he's not taking a job 9 to 5. Did you feel the worry and did you feel the pressure of being the best version of Ali in the eyes of your parents?
I mean, it was. It's a bit hard to decide, right? I mean, I know that they are very happy for me now. They are very proud of me right now because, like, first of all, I went on TV, and they were like very happy seeing me on TV. And honestly, every time and every like stop in my journey, and when people ask me like, tell us about people who you really supported you and helped you in your journey, the first two person I always talk about is my mom and dad because they have been very supportive, honestly. And that worry and that concerns was just for me to be different and just to be a better person. Especially when my other siblings are like, they have certain jobs. Like my eldest, he's a pilot. My other brother, he's a lawyer, and my sister is a food technologist. So they are part of the ecosystem that they know. And Ali coming in and doing something differently was a bit different for them.
Okay. Now, you are in the public eye.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you handle that in a positive way and in the way that people criticize and people want to be involved or to be some people? How do you handle it?
I think I handle it perfectly. Like, because I'm not living like double life. Like the same life I live in a house, the same life I live in public. Yes, there are certain criteria that you always need to carry with you because it is a responsibility. Like sometimes, Abir, you go through like hardships, right, in life. Sometimes like I don't feel it. I'm tired. I don't have that energy. I don't have that love and joy that people want to see from me. But I truly appreciate and love that recognition from because when I don't feel it, they remind me that I have it. So it's a different formula. I really appreciate the love and the recognition from people. I think that's the best blessing and the biggest blessing that I have or I gained in the past 7 years.
Amazing. Okay. Young people who are listening to you and they are inspired from each word you're saying and
Yeah.
they would like to be like you,
Yeah.
what's the advice you will tell them?
You don't want to be like me, first of all. You want to be better. And you must be better. And maybe you are better in so many, like, personally, I'm bad in so many things in my life. I just excel in certain things. Like, personally, I don't want to be like a master in everything or I don't know. Like, if I want to give an advice, I always would say to other people, like, trust the universe, trust your gut, trust what your heart tells you. And trust me, if you find an obstacle today or a challenge today, or somebody is trying to stop you, it's okay. It's okay. Don't always fight back. Be disciplined. and understand what's happening around you. If you want to understand your life and if you want to connect the dots, you cannot connect the dots just moving forward. Dots are scattered around you. And what happened today might be reasonable and it might make sense after 3 years.
Absolutely.
It's a cycle. So whatever you live, it will benefit you in the future and it will help you in the future. If you don't understand it today, you will understand it in the future. It just needs time for you to be ready to understand it. That's it.
3 things that you will tell people who want to become entrepreneurs. What are the 3 things that they should focus on?
Discipline, and discipline.
Okay. And now finally, I want to ask you.
Yeah.
If you could go back to the little Ali in you,
Yeah. I miss him.
what would you tell him?
I would tell علي الزغنوط اللي دايما بشوف صوره, like, I'm very proud of you and you should be proud of yourself. Thank you for shaping me the person I am today. And yeah, I would simply thank him.
And now I want to thank you so much for a beautiful session. It was really beautiful. And I hope everyone who's listening to us will get inspired and will learn a lot from your journey, because your journey is beautiful from the beginning to the end. Whatever you think, I know there is lots of challenges and difficulties, but from each challenge I can see and I can feel that you are growing to be stronger and more determined to do what you want. And I love that thing in you. It's special and not everybody have it. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Abir.
Take care.
Thank you.